What are you worried about, mate?
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Oh, the stress. The stress, but a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. A London derby comeback. 1-0 down. This young Chelsea team not looking like they got a clue what the hell's going on. But credit to the Chelsea manager, Enzo Maresca, who did make changes, who changed the game. And we came back and we won and we held on to the 3 points in what could have been a terrifying other scenario of the return of Graham Potter. The spectre of Potter. It could have been Graham Potter and the cursed football match. I got no Harry Potter references there, but still, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. Really do hope that just in the top fourth. I'm just going to tell you where we are now in the Premier League in the table. Yes, we are Nottingham Forest still 4 points clear of us. Fair play to the tricky trees. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are 2 points clear of Man City in 5th. Of course, it does seem like top 5 will get you Champions League, and Newcastle are also on 41 points. So, wow, it's tight. It looks like Bournemouth. It's 4-2, man. Bournemouth, Newcastle, City, Chelsea. This was a must-win. It would have been 1 win in 8 had we not won this. And when we went behind, I was feeling bad. I was feeling that. I was feeling bad, but I was feeling apathetic, bro, which is even worse. It is the transfer window still. We're going to react to the signings tomorrow. We signed a midfielder from Ligue 1, teenager. Yeah. But like the main thing is we won this game, yeah, with meaningful contributions from Neto. Gu came on there for 5 substitutions. 5 substitutions from the manager who never made subs. He made all 5, and I tell you what, he made them quickly, and the game did change. We're going to talk about it. So thanks for joining me. Yes, thanks for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content as always. If you're feeling good, drop a like on the video. You're all welcome to subscribe if you want to, but if you choose to, hit the bell. Let's get into it. Yes, so I think the transfer window is still open. We've signed some teenager. I will react to the entire transfer window tomorrow, so keep it locked for that. But it's worth. I think Chili's gone to Palace, Carney's gone to Dortmund, Disasi's gone to Villa, and Joao Felix has gone to Milan. So there's been a lot of exits with Cassidy to Torino as well, which I guess is kind of good. We recalled that Fofana as well, which is perhaps something we could speak about. But let's talk about this football match. So it was the return of Graham Potter playing a 3-back system, and of course, Jared Bowen makes a miraculous recovery to be available for this game, and of course was very, very good. He's an excellent finisher. Not only did he score a goal that of course was gifted to him by Colwill, but when he did get the ball, he posed a lot of questions. I don't know what Areola's got a low score here on SofaScore, because he made a couple of great saves. But yeah, 3-4-3, of course, previous Chelsea player Emerson Palmieri, Wan-Bissaka, who had found a bit of form recently, but of course had an own goal for. I mean, this is a good team. They also had players off the bench. I was scared of Danny Ings, just because I know he's a striker. A few players. And Chelsea, of course, we're going to look at the heat maps, because I think this is really interesting. The big story is Rob Sanchez dropped, who no player in Europe has made more errors leading to goal than Robert Sanchez. Jorgensen came in, looked alright. We can talk about him when we talk about player performances. Back 4, Kukurea, Colwill, Tosin, Reece James, with Fernandez and Caicedo. I thought Fernandez was really good, actually. Cole Palmer, Madueke, Sancho, and Jackson. And then we saw 5 substitutions, guys. Neto coming on for Sancho. So he kind of played on the left, but not for too long. He went over to his favoured right. And then, of course, that's where he gets the goal. Mark Gu for Jackson, striker for a striker. Gusto for Reece James, probably planned, but Gusto plays in a more advanced position when he plays than James, so it's a changing of dynamic. And Nkunku for Madueke, so Nkunku is playing as a left winger. And then later on, Trevoh Chalobah comes on for Palmer to see the game out in what was a lot of stoppage time. It's worth mentioning, from that lineup there was a lot of change in terms of what Maresca did tactically. And it worked, because that first half, bro, like, we had moments we started kind of well, but we were just like, Graham Potter's remit, okay, his return to Chelsea, was don't get slapped up and embarrassed, first of all, because he was the Chelsea manager and all the narrative. But his general remit as West Ham is sort out the defence because they were leaking like hell. And he has, largely. And he set up really sensibly here with like Kudus and Bowen on the break. Kudus has been given the worst score here on SofaScore, but he was giving trouble to Cole. Well, in fact, Cole didn't like it all day from both Kudus and Jared Bowen. And of course, he made the mistake for the goal. I want to talk about player positions and stuff in a second, but let's quickly look at the stats and then look at the timeline, and we will talk about the players. The first half, 63% possession, not a classic. We still had a big chance apiece, yeah. Most expected goals from us, but not a lot. You'd have to say 12 shots, 0.63 XG, not good enough from the Chelsea, you'd have to say. Second half, 0.74 XG. I kind of want at least 2 XG a game, to be honest. West Ham had a higher expected goals than Chelsea in that second half, despite what felt like a good period of dominance from Chelsea. Alright, so Bowen gets the goal at the end of the first half, and Chelsea are like sort of good, but then it's a Levi Cole mistake, bro. Like, yes, it was finished really, really well by Jared Bowen. He's a great finisher, yada, yada, yada. I'd start him up front for Chelsea at the moment. If he was our player, that's where we're at the moment. You know, I'd rather have Jackson long term because he's younger and, you know, he needs to settle and have pressure off his shoulders to like flourish. And, you know, Bowen, how old is Jared Bowen? Is he like 30? I think he's like a seriously seasoned player. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, he's 28 to be fair, but you know, he's a senior player. He scores the goal. Cobble's annoying, man. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more in detail in just a moment when we do player performances, but he's sort of weak, sort of forced to the floor, tries to pretend like he's fouled, but he's not. He's just been weak. Is Jared Bowen? Is it Jared Bowen who robs him, or was it Kudus? I can't remember. One of them. They were both giving him a tough time, and he gets to Bowen, he slots it, and it's not really on the Jorgensen who's come into the game. It's not on him, really. It's just a really poor moment when we've had these moments from your Disassis, even Cole Palmer's. Cole will probably a couple of times. Certainly Rob Sanchez in goal a few times. When that mistake happens and the very quick turnover happens, Chelsea aren't in shape and it's just a goal. This is the thing with this high-risk Maresca football, that when you play out like that and there's something that goes against the plan so early in the action, you're screwed, basically. And they score. And that's what happens. And that's what happened here. Gosh darn it. So we started the second half. We ended the first half quite like in a high-octane positive fashion. And the second half, I think we were just like floating into obscurity. And Maresca worked really quickly. He made the change. So he took off Jackson, who looked like he might have had a hammy, but largely ineffective. Brought on the sort of bull in the China shop Mark Yu, but is exciting and a bit of a bulldozer. Takes off Sancho for Neto. So in the 52nd minute, he makes the change, yeah. I think Neto originally moves out to the left because Noni's still on, but of course eventually moves over to his native right. So let's look at this. Yeah, so Nkunku comes on just literally 9 minutes later for Madueke, which moves Neto over to his favoured right, and Gusto moves on for James. And James is really, really good. Played quite well, whatever. But when Gusto plays, he plays more in the pocket, like advanced than James. James plays a more reserved role. And I think that's by design to A, protect his legs, and B, use his defensive ability, which is actually really good. I know he's great going forward, James, but he's actually a really good defender. So we're kind of like, two birds, one stone. And in the 64th minute, we score what is the equaliser. It is a good goal. The ball gets played in. I think it's an Enzo Fernandez shot. It lands to him. I actually was really happy with Fernandez in this game. And we'll, again, player performances just come in a second. And it basically falls to Neto and he squeezes it in the corner. That's what he does. Left foot, right winger, goes near post. That's what you want. Now, the momentum is with us. I don't know how these men got a couple of bookings, Fernandez and Palmer. I don't know if Palmer gets booked straight away, what he's saying. But, and then Graham Potter tries to react, brings in a couple of players. And unfortunately, Wan-Bissaka scores an own goal. It's not too much on him. It's basically a cross from Cole Palmer. These sort of very flat, in-swingy, crossy gut thing It's got some spin on it, hits Wan-Bissaka, just goes in. So, it's never on target. It's not a Cole Palmer goal. It might be an assist on FPL, though, so I need to check that because he was doing me dirty, Palmer. I only just left him in my FPL. He got a yellow and wasn't doing anything, and I was thinking, Jesus, So hopefully it's an assist for that. But yeah, 2-1 up, yeah. And then loads of changes from three other changes from Potter trying to get back in the game. Chalobah comes on for Palmer, trying to seize the game out. So let's talk about how this changed a bit. So ineffective players, Jackson, Sancho, to a degree. Jackson just needs to be not because he's doing howlers like a goalkeeper, but I think he needs to kind of be taken out of the firing line in his own way, like. Even if you just start you for a bit, is that even possible? Cucurella will be really interesting, his heat map, yeah. So I think the earlier halves, yeah, is like here. But there was a time when he was literally staying here in the second half later, and it was actually in front of Christopher Nkunku. Yeah, so if you look here, yeah, Nkunku was here, and Cucurella was here. So our sort of second striker, striker in this system was behind our left back. But it worked. Cole Palmer moved from the right pocket here into the second half when we started doing a lot better. He moved to the left pocket. As you can see, he was occupying that space there, and that was doing really well. And that was because Gusto was coming on and taking the right pocket. So there you go. This is Cole Palmer first half, second half when Gusto comes in and occupies that space, which worked, guys. And Enzo Maresca deserves credit for it. He really genuinely does. And obviously Pedro Neto comes on initially for a little bit on the left, but then does all his good work on the right hand side there from Pedro Neto. Reece James, that is the sort of defensive right centre back. He's not playing so much in the offensive pocket there. Look at Jorgensen's stats as a goalkeeper here. Just goals prevented minus 0.39. Right, so 4 saves, long balls 1 out of 8. He's clearly been training with Rob Sanchez, but whatever. 4 saves, didn't make a howler. High profile scenario, looking at him, it's a big story, innit? All right, let's look at some other players, shall we? I think Tosin played well. I think he was our best centre back on the night. Very, very central there, kind of like looking like a back three, which means Colwill will be more on the left. There's Colwill. Really disappointed with Colwill. In fact, let's just speak about him for a moment, because the first half of the season, he was really good. He was deservedly getting hype, not necessarily for like defensive masterclasses, but for being so integral as a pass master, like really doing raking long balls, kind of like playing almost Regista-like, a little bit David Luiz at times, in terms of seeing a lot of the ball as a centre-back. Wants to score a goal. He won 7 out of his 9 ground duels, but these big moments where he just like gets booked for dissent, gets booked for a silly tackle, gives away a dangerous free kick just outside the box, error leading to goal. I know he's a young player and these things will happen, and he'll get more like nous and smart when he like gets older or whatever. But really, really frustrating, and like it sort of coincides with Chelsea being a bit worse in the second half of the season, but. Yeah, very, very poor individually, very frustrating, and I don't like it. What else can we say? Noni and Sancho had moments in the first half. They both probably should have scored. Noni they both had chances they put wide. Sancho's one went really, really high when he went across the area of his goal, but it was an angle where he had to go top bins here. And basically just supercharged it. We had chances in the first half, but we didn't turn them into higher expected goal chances, higher value chances. I wonder why, Cole Palmer's got man of the match when I mean, let's have a look at his stats. He did do some great play. He stuck the referee on his ass as well, which was pretty funny at one point. 4 out of 5 long balls, good. 3 key passes, good. 3 out of 4 ground duels, good. Our centre backs could learn something like that. Yeah, okay, good game. And yeah, man, look, it's a win. It's a win from being behind as well, like showing a little bit of character, which is a rarity for Chelsea, this Chelsea team, big time. And I kind of want to just shout out the manager for inspiring the change. And you really need the manager to do it when you've got these players that young, inexperienced, fearful, all these things. Do you know what I mean? You need just the gaffer to be like, right, what can I change tactically to make this work? And like I said, there was innovation there. You know, I for a moment I was like, what? Nkunku on the left wing again? Like, but it was less about, and he was wasted skill set wise, but he was occupying a space to let Cucurella do something which, you know, West Ham didn't know what to do with. And even like Gue, it wasn't just throwing him on. He told him what to do to change how the defence was set up for West Ham. And really, really impressive. And I think he deserves credit for that. All right, gang, pleased. Well done, us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining me. Of course, report back tomorrow to learn all about the transfer situation. That should be fun, eh? And yeah, gang, thanks for hanging out with me. Goat Gang and Football Therapy merch available under the video. If you want to cop some of that, you're welcome to. And see you in a bit. Peace.